Good morning everyone. This is Pavani. Hope everyone is fine. So today I have come back with the topic speech for 8th to 10th class. Okay, speech for 8th to 10th class. So before I get into the topic, first I would like to explain what is speech along with the pictures. Okay, so here teacher, okay, student and the absent child. Okay, now these are the three pictures. With these three pictures I would like to explain what is speech. Okay, so here first head is teacher, second head is the student who is present to the class, and the third head is the absent child. For example, teacher, when she is taking the class, the student who was present in the class and the absent child, both of them were friends. Okay, both of these students were friends. Okay, so now here teacher has taught the topic speech. Okay, teacher has taught the topic speech. So now the student who is present in the class, he has listened the class. Okay, directly from the teacher he has listened the class. So we call it as when the action is done by the teacher, directly it is received by the student who is present in the class, comes under direct speech. Okay, so have you all understood? When the teacher is taking the class, the child has listened the class completely directly through the teacher. Okay, he did not listen from the third person. Directly face to face he has listened from the teacher. Okay, he or she has listened from the teacher. So that is called what? Direct speech, which is face to face. Did you get me everyone? The next one, so now what is indirect speech? So indirect speech means the child who is absent to the class that particular day, what the teacher taught here, something the teacher has taught in the class. Okay, so then for example you consider it as the teacher has taught speech topic only. Okay, then now what this child will say to the absent child, the student who is present. For example, the absent child really is interested, then immediately he will make a call to the student, those who were present on that day, and he will inquire what was happened on that particular day. My dear friend, I was today absent, no? So what was happened in the class, what teachers have taught today, like that the absent child will inquire. So he will not make a call and he will not tell him. Why? Because he is not bothered about him that much. When we were absent, we have to make a call to our friends, so and so has happened in the school. Okay, so now this absent child made a call to the child who was present on that day. So now he'll be asking him what had happened in the class, what are the topics teachers have taught today. Then he will say that okay, teachers has taught different topics, like that he will tell. And teacher said something. For example, teacher said I didn't like sweets. For example, teacher said I didn't like sweets. So now here teacher said that she didn't like sweets. Okay, how he has to say? So what exactly the teacher said, he may not say that. He will add something extra to that. That is only indirect speech. For example, teacher said I want chocolate. Teacher said I want chocolate. Then teacher said that she wanted chocolate, adding information to the given sentence. Okay, what the teacher said to the child. So when he carried to the third person, in his own words he will use and he will say. That is called what? Indirect speech. What teacher said directly, can he say that? Okay, teacher said in this way, can he say? No. So he is not the teacher that if at all, if he go and say, I said I want to eat chocolate. So can he say? No. Then what he has to say? Teacher said that she wanted to eat chocolate. That means he added. Okay, he added and he said. That is called what? Indirect speech. What directly the teacher said, he cannot say. Why? Because he has listened from the teacher. He has taken the knowledge from the teacher, and for the third person he is giving that knowledge. So what he has to add? He has to add extra to that, and then he has to say. That is called what? Indirect speech. So did you get me everyone? Here this is called what now? Indirect speech. Why? Because he added something and he said to the student. Okay, directly what the teacher said he cannot say. Why? Because he is not a teacher there. Okay, he has to add something and he has to say. That is called what? Indirect speech. Why? Because he listened from the teacher. That information he is passing. For example, something the teacher has told something. He received the knowledge from the teacher. So whatever the knowledge he has received, he is sharing to his friend. So how the teacher said, can he say like that? No, he cannot say. That is only what? Indirect speech. So when the person is taking directly from the teacher knowledge, that is called what? Direct speech. So now the second person, teacher is the first person, student is the second person, and absent child is the third person. So now the child who has listened to the teacher directly and passing the information to the third person is called what? Indirect speech. Okay, taking the information from someone and passing the information to the other is called what? Indirect speech. Okay, directly taking the information from someone is called what? Direct speech. So taking the information from someone and passing to the other is called what? Indirect speech. I hope everyone have understood clearly, right? Yes. So now let us go to the topic. Okay. Yes, now. So you have understood what is a speech. A speech is nothing but when it is spoken directly to the person, it is called direct speech. Okay, if the speech is in between three persons, it is called indirect speech. Why? Because the person, someone has heard from you and is passing to the third person the information. That is called what? Indirect speech. Okay, did you get me? For example, we only will take. Okay, now what am I doing here? I am teaching to you. You all are listening to me. Okay, you all are listening to me. I am considered as one. You all considered as one. So now what you have listened, what the child who didn't listen the class, so for that child, you will explain what I have explained to you. That is called what? Indirect speech. When you are directly listening to me is called what? Direct speech. You have listened, you have taken the knowledge from me and helping the other child is called indirect speech. Okay. So now let us see how many kinds of speech do we have. Okay. There are two kinds of speech. How many kinds of speech we have? Just now we have learned that we have two kinds of speech. What is that? Direct speech and indirect speech. Okay. So what is direct speech? In direct speech, we can reproduce the words spoken by a person. Okay. In direct speech, we can reproduce the words spoken by a person. Example, she said, I am singing. Okay. Example, she said, I am singing. So this is called what? Direct speech. We can reproduce the words spoken by a person. Okay. What the person said, exactly those words must be put in the inverted commas. In speech, we use what? After the word, like what she said, I am singing. She said, that is said. I am singing. What she said, I am singing. So whatever she said, whatever the important words she said, we have to put in the inverted commas. Okay, nothing but quotation marks. Okay, we can say either quotation marks or inverted commas. She said, I am singing. So who is the speaker here? She. What she said, I am singing. So I am singing must be put in inverted commas. Immediately after the word said, we have to break the sentence by using a comma. And exactly what the speaker said, those words must be put in the inverted commas. Did you get me, everyone? Yes. So what is direct speech? In direct speech, we can reproduce the words spoken by a person. What the person has spoken, we can reproduce the words. So what the person said here, she said, I am singing. Okay, exactly what the speaker said, I am singing. So I am singing must be put in what? Inverted commas. So before putting inverted commas, you have to break the sentence. She said, comma, I am singing. So in speech, you have to use comma and inverted commas. Inverted commas are used exactly what the speaker has spoken. Those words you have to put. Okay. Then now, what is indirect speech? Indirect speech, as I told you, it will be between three persons. Okay. The first teacher is the first person. Listener is the second person. He has listened and he passed the information to the third person. Now see, in indirect speech, we express the other words in our own words. We express the other words in our own words. Okay. What the teacher said, that we are not saying. In our own words, we are expressing. That is called what? Indirect speech. Why? Because you have listened from the teacher And when you are saying to the third person, in your own words you will say. Okay, that is called what? Indirect speech. Indirect speech, we express the other's words in our own words. Example, now see here. She said, I am singing is direct speech. So when it is changed into indirect speech, she said that she was singing. Okay, she said that. So after said, what you have to use? That. Okay, that conjunction must be used here. She said that, so she told me, okay, she said that she was singing. I am singing changes to what? I am, is, am changes to was here. So I got here am. So what am will change into was. Next I am going to tell you the rules. At that time you will understand very clearly. Okay. She said that she was singing. I am singing. Present continuous changes to past continuous. So here I am singing is in present continuous. So when it comes under indirect speech, it changes into past continuous. She was singing. Is it clear everyone? Then now rules for changing direct into indirect speech. So we have 9 rules to change direct speech into indirect speech. So now what is the first one? If the reporting verb is in the present tense, if the reporting verb is in the present tense or future tense, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the verb in reported speech doesn't change. It will not change. If the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the verb will not change. Okay, it doesn't change. Now see here, example, she says. Okay, this is what? Simple present tense. Says means what? Simple present tense. Already I taught you tenses, right? So says means what? It is in simple present tense. I am baking a cake. She says, I am baking a cake. Again, what she said, what the speaker said, I am baking a cake. So this I am baking a cake is in which tense here? Present continuous tense. Okay, which tense it is? Present continuous tense. So present continuous tense must be changed into what? Will it change here? What I told you, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the verb in reported speech doesn't change. So now see here, she says. Says is what? Simple present tense. The reporting verb is in present tense, so it will not change. Reporting verb is in present tense, so it will not change here. So she says, I am baking a cake. I am baking a cake is in present continuous tense. But will it change or not? See here. Here, I am singing. Present continuous changed into what? Past continuous tense. Why? Because here said. Already this said means it is past action. It is telling about the past action. So it is changed. But here it is telling about the present action. Okay. She says, I am baking a cake. She says, I am baking a cake. Then when the reporting verb, okay, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the reported verb doesn't change. So now it will not change. When it is says, we use says only. She says that I am baking a cake. Okay, so she says that she is baking a cake. She says that she is baking a cake. Okay, is baking. It has come in the present tense only. Okay, when she comes, what we have to use is. If I follows, we'll get am. But when it is she, what we have to use is. That means again this is also in present continuous tense only. It doesn't change. Okay, when it doesn't change, when the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the verb doesn't change. So as it is says no, it will not change here. Is it clear everyone? As it is says here, we won't change the sentence what exactly the speaker said. It will be again in the present continuous tense only. When you need to remember, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, the tense of the reporting verb will not change. Okay. So hope everyone have understood up to here. So let me continue with the other rule. Okay. Yes. So let me continue with the second rule. What is the second rule? if the reporting verb if the reporting verb is in past tense, the tense of the reported verb is changed. The tense of the reported verb is changed into the corresponding tense. Or corresponding tenses, we can say. So now here I am going to give you the table. Okay, this is direct speech and this is indirect speech. So now first we will see if the reporting verb is in the past tense. The tense of the reported verb is changed into corresponding tenses. Under the second point, you are going to get the tabular form. From this tabular form, you will understand very clearly. Okay, like is, am, are, may, can, will, shall, has or have, must. Okay, so is or am changes to what? Are. Are changes to what? Sorry, is or am changes to was. Are changes to were. May changes to what? Might. Can changes to what? Could. Will changes to what? Would. Shall changes to what? Should. Has or have changes to had. Must changes to had to. Once again I'll repeat. See, is or am changes to what? Was. Is or am changes to was. Are changes to were. May changes to might. Can changes to could. Will changes to would. Shall changes to should. Has or have changes to had. Must changes to had to. Okay. So these are the rules. Still it is there. Once again I'll repeat. Is, am changes to what? Are. In direct speech, she is eating a chocolate. Then in direct speech what? She was eating a chocolate. She said she is eating a chocolate. She said that she was eating a chocolate. For every sentence, the conjunction word that must be added here. Okay. Now see here. Are changes to what? Were. May changes to might. Can changes to could. Will changes to would. Shall changes to should. Has or have changes to had. Must changes to had to. So just I'm going to erase to write the remaining. If I write side, you may not understand. So I'm erasing this. Okay. Up to must I have written. Must changes to had to. Okay. Then the remaining now. Remaining what else? Do or does changes to what? Do or does changes to. Next. Present tense changes to. Present continuous. Present continuous tense changes to. Then next, present perfect tense changes to. Then simple past changes to. Next, past continuous changes to. Past perfect changes to. Okay. Now, do or does changes to what? Did. Do or does changes to did. Do or does will change as did in indirect speech. Present changes to what? Past. Okay, present tense changes to past tense. Present continuous changes to past continuous tense. Okay, present perfect changes to past perfect. Present perfect changes to what? Past perfect. Then next, simple past changes to past perfect. Simple past changes to what? Past perfect. Then past continuous changes to past perfect tense. Past perfect continuous tense. Okay. The next, past perfect tense, it will not change. It will be like past perfect only. Okay. These are the rules. Is it clear? Do or does changes to did. Present tense changes to past tense. Present tense changes to past tense. Present continuous changes to past continuous tense. Present perfect tense changes to past perfect tense. Simple past changes to past perfect. Like what? Past continuous tense changes to past perfect continuous tense, and past perfect will not change. It will be as it is, past perfect only. That you need to remember. So once you see second point, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the tense of the reported verb is changed into corresponding tenses. So now what I have written here, direct speech, indirect speech, how it is going to change. Hope everyone have understood this tabular form. Next we'll go to the another one. Okay. So now, so second point we have finished. Now under this, for example, I'll give you some examples. Okay. So under this, I'm going to give example. For second one, I'm going to give the example. Okay, first one, if it is if the reporting verb is in simple present tense, okay, present tense or simple future tense, the verb will not change, you have seen. And in second rule, you are going to, and in second rule, you are going to see what you are going to see in second rule, how the corresponding tenses you are going to check. The corresponding tenses you are going to check now. Okay. So let us see the example. Okay, at least two examples I'll give you here, how it is going to change. Okay, how it is going to change. Just two examples. For example, he said, I am reading well. He said, I am reading well. What I told you, in speech you have to use commas and inverted commas. Exactly what the speaker said, that sentence must be put in inverted commas, and you have to end the statement with the full stop. He said, I am reading well. So now this sentence you have to understand. Said is already said, means the past action. I am reading well is in which tense? Present continuous tense. You have to see the tense. So present continuous tense changes in indirect speech as what? Past continuous tense. So what you have to write? He said that. What conjunction you have to use? I said that. He said that, okay, he was reading well. So already it is past now. How can I write here are or is? Why? Because it is past. Already the action said is given. So it must be past. He said that he was reading well. Okay. So when you are changing direct into indirect speech, you have to remove commas and inverted commas. When you are changing from direct speech to indirect speech, you have to remove commas and inverted commas. Is it clear? Then one more sentence I'll give you. She said they are in the temple. She said they are in the temple. She said they are in the temple. Now exactly what the speaker said, they are in the temple. Who is the speaker? She. So already the action is past. Said means past. So she said that, okay, they are changes to what? Were. They were in the temple. They were in the temple. It is what? It is in simple present tense. Then it must be simple past tense. It is in simple present tense. Okay, it is in simple present tense. So it should be changed into simple past tense. Is it clear? Are changes to were. That means simple past tense. So this is the example. Okay, these two examples comes under second rule. Okay, the corresponding tenses, how it changes. Okay, now see here, when in direct speech the question is, he said I am reading well. So exactly what the speaker said, I am reading well, is in present continuous tense. Okay, when it changes into indirect speech, we have to remove commas and inverted commas, and we have to make it as one sentence. As it is in present continuous tense, we have to change it into past continuous tense. So he said that he was reading well. Okay, then she said they are in the temple. So they are in the temple. Exactly, the speaker said these words. Okay, they are in the temple. So now here it is in simple present tense. Simple present tense must change into indirect speech as simple past tense. So how we can write? She said that they were in the temple. So what I told you, you have to remove commas and inverted commas, and extra one word is added. What is that? That must be used. The conjunction that must be used. Okay. So hope you have understood this. Then I'll go to the third one now. Okay. I'll go to the third rule. Is it clear, everyone? So now I'm going to third rule. Okay. At least today we will learn 4 to 5. In the next session, again I'm going to teach the remaining rules only in one session. If I say, you may get a lot of confusion. So I'm going to say only 4 to 5 rules today. Okay. Now next. So third rule. What is the third rule now here? The third rule, if the reported speech express universal truth or habitual action. Okay, if the reported speech express the universal truth or habitual action, the tense will remain unchanged. Okay, the tense will not change. It will remain as it is. For example, now third rule, just I'm writing third rule. Everyone just see the board. If the reported speech express universal truth or habitual action, the tense will remain unchanged. The tense will not change. Okay, when we are talking about the, like what, if the reported speech express universal truth or habitual action, the tense will remain unchanged. For example, the teacher said, okay, the teacher said the earth goes round the sun. The earth goes round the sun. The earth goes round the sun. Okay, exactly what the speaker said here. Okay, the teacher. Who is the speaker here? The teacher is the speaker. What the teacher said here? The earth goes round the sun. What the teacher said here? The earth goes round the sun. So now this, what is given here? If the reported speech express universal fact. This is the universal fact, right? Or the habitual action, the tense will remain unchanged. It will be as it is. Unchanged means it will not change. So now here, the teacher said the earth goes round the sun. The earth goes round the sun. So now what you have to write in indirect speech? The teacher said. What I told you, when it is changing into indirect speech, you have to remove commas and inverted commas. The teacher said that, extra what should be added? Conjunction that. The teacher said that the earth goes round the sun. That the earth goes round the sun. Okay, that the earth goes round the sun. This is the sentence. Okay. The teacher said the earth goes round the sun. It is a universal fact, universal statement. So it will not change. Universal statement or habitual actions will not change. It will be as it is. So what extra is added? Only that. Only for universal statement and habitual actions, it will not change. You will get the same sentence as it is, but only what one is added, the conjunction, that must be used. So is it clear, everyone? So this is what third rule. Under third rule, again one tabular form I'm going to give you. Okay. So just yes. So hope everyone have understood up to now what I taught you. So now I'm going to write under third rule one tabular form. Okay. Under third rule one tabular form I'm going to write, that is direct speech, indirect speech, direct speech, indirect speech. So now just this, these, ago, thus, today, tonight, tomorrow, tomorrow, yesterday, last night. Okay. So now changes to what? Now changes to then. Now changes to what? Then in indirect speech. Just changes to then. Okay. Even just also changes as then. Now changes to then. Just changes to then. This changes to that. These changes to those. Ago changes to before. Ago changes to what? Before. Thus changes to so. Today changes to that day. Today changes to what? That day. Tonight changes to that night. Tonight changes to what in indirect speech? That night. Tomorrow changes to the following day or the next day. Okay, either you can write following day or the next day. Following day or the next day. Then next, yesterday changes to the day before or the previous day. The day before or the previous day. Okay. Then next, last night changes to the night before or the previous night. The night before or the previous night. Okay, these are the rules you need to remember. Once again, I'll repeat. Now changes to then, just changes to then, this changes to that, these changes to those, ago changes to before, thus changes to so, today changes to that day, tonight changes to that night, tomorrow changes to the following or the next day, yesterday changes to the day before or the previous day, last night changes to the night before or the previous night. If it is last month, the before month or the previous month you can use. Okay, so these are the rules you need to remember when you're changing a present into past. Like what? Direct speech changes to indirect speech. Okay, if it is simple present tense, it changes to simple past. If it is present continuous, past continuous. If it is present perfect, past perfect. Okay, like that you have to check whether when it is in direct speech past perfect, in indirect speech also we get past perfect. Okay. So that you need to remember. Okay. So now next fourth rule, assertive sentences. After this I'm going to end the class, because again next remaining 5 in the next class I'll teach. Okay. Otherwise you will be getting a lot of confusion with all these rules. Okay. So now what is the fourth one? Okay. Assertive sentences. So you know kinds of sentences, right? How many kinds of sentences do we have? We have 4 kinds of sentences. How many kinds of sentences we have? 4 kinds of sentences. Okay. In that, assertive sentence, imperative sentence, interrogative sentence and exclamatory sentence. So what is assertive sentence? Assertive sentence tells about the universal fact, habitual actions, daily, regularly, what we are going to do. If it states a statement, that is called what? assertive sentence. Okay, it tells about the habitual action. It tells about the universal statement. That is called what? Assertive sentence. Assertive sentence ends with a full stop. That you need to remember. Okay, so now we are going to have assertive sentences. Fourth one, if it is assertive sentence, how it is going to change according to the rules. So now in the assertive sentences, okay, fourth point is what? Assertive sentences. In assertive sentence, how it is going to change. In assertive sentences, okay, in assertive sentences, say, says, said. Say, says, said, remain, remains unchanged. Remain unchanged means it will not change. Remains unchanged, it will not change. For example, now see here, say to, says to, say to. Okay, say to, says to, said to. Now see, this is the fourth rule which I am going to explain. Okay, now said to. Now see here, in assertive sentences, say, says, said remains unchanged. It will not change. It will not change. So say to, says to. Say to means tell. Says to means tells. Why? Because here we have S. So here it becomes tells. Said to changes to told. Say to changes to tell. Says to changes to tells. Said to changes to told. So now here the conjunction that is used. What we have to use? That conjunction must be used with this.